Golf News RI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Golf Dudes Podcast. I'm Joe Calabro, founder of GolfNewsRI.com. Rich will be along in a little while, and right now, of course, you're all tuning in to not hear me talk. You're tuning in for our guest, and we'll get to him in just a minute. But first, we should tell you that the Golf Dudes Podcast is presented by Lynx Drinks. Lynx Drinks is best known for their transfusion in a can. A transfusion is vodka, ginger ale, and grape juice all mixed together into one refreshing beverage. Look for Lynx Drinks at liquor stores and country clubs near you. Also, if you're going to the PGA show this week, or next week, I guess, Lynx Drinks is going to have a booth down there, so be sure to visit them. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. Happy Thursday. Yes, I am celebrating a PC basketball victory, if you looked at my Facebook page recently. So a good win for them today. But anyway, on to more important things. And, of course, we're super excited to be joined by someone that I covered when he was in high school. So how was that for feeling old for a second? He's now a professional golfer, which is pretty awesome. And we're joined by Will Dixon. Will, thanks so much for taking some time to come on, and super excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
So you start your first full season as a pro next week, next Tuesday, down on the Emerald Coast Tour, which is super exciting. Just talk about in the days leading up to that. Obviously, you told me before we started that you leave on Sunday for Florida. Just talk about your preparation for that, the excitement level. Are you nervous? What's the emotions in a few days away from your first tournament of the season?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited just to get the season going. I feel like it's been a while since I've played a big stretch of tournaments, and it's been a great off season. I've done some good work with my coach, Keith Stewart, and some other guys in the area that have helped out. And I'm just really excited to get the season going.
Awesome. Now you talk about you're doing good work in the off season. Talk about some of the things that you've been doing. I want to get into practice and things like that, because I think that's interesting. But just as regards to this season, talk about some of the work you've been doing in the off season, what you've been working on, and how that's going to help you in the pro season ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess first and foremost, I just did a lot of good work with my swing coach. But I was also able to play a lot with some guys over in Augusta, Georgia, and in Waynesboro, where I like to go when I have some time off. And there's a good group of guys over there, and there's some pretty good golfers too. So we have some good competition, and it's just a great way to keep my game sharp, tournament ready. So combine that with I've been working with a performance coach, and his name's Lucas Hilt, and a strength and conditioning coach down here as well, Robert Jacobs. And those two guys have really been an influence on me, and just doing some really good stuff off the course as far as just in the gym and just trying to get how to perform the best. So like I said, on the course, off the course, just really excited to get the season started.
Awesome. Now, obviously, golf, you did a big story on you last year. People were super excited. The response to it was amazing. People were super excited for you, super excited for your success. Obviously, as you talked about in the story, we don't have to go back all the way through it, but obviously you said you've been through a lot. But this is Rhode Island. We are in Rhode Island. So we have to go back to the Moses Brown years. You're the only Rhode Islander to ever win 4 straight high school championships, which you did at Moses Brown from 2014 to 2017. I covered your freshman season when I was working at Cox Sports in the show Varsity Life. So like I said, small world. So just
Yeah.
go back to that time. Go back to the time machine, and what was that? What was that like for you? What was that experience of winning four straight? Obviously the pressure built as it kind of
Right.
because you were doing something that no one's ever done before. Billy Andre never did it. Faxon didn't do it. No one else has done it. So and still no one else has done it. Now talk to me in 3 years, and I have a different answer for you. But just talk about take us back to that time frame. Moses Brown, high school golf in Rhode Island. What was that whole thing
Yeah.
like?
Yeah. So, I would say uh, my freshman year, I didn't really know what to expect. High school golf in Rhode Island, it's not exactly, you know, like it's not huge compared to other states like down here in Florida and Georgia or Texas or whatnot. But that being said, the state tournament is one of the few 2-day state tournaments in the country. It's one of the best 2-day state tournaments there is, and so I always kind of built up to that, and like you said, I just every year kept being more of a big deal than it was the year before, and um, it all turned out pretty well for me in the end. But the whole high school experience was awesome. My golf coach in high school, Ransom Griffin, he was my English coach. He was my English teacher. He was my homeroom advisor at Moses Brown. We spent a ton of time together, and the guys in that team were just so good, and we were all really close. And we played together outside of school and practiced together, and so that environment on that high school team was probably the best team environment that I've ever been on. And that's what made it special. That's what made high school golf so fun for me. And in the end, it turned out to be a pretty big deal. So I'm really grateful for that experience, and I think back to it a lot.
Your last championship there for the fourth straight, you were going up against Colin Sutala. I hope I pronounced his name right, last name correct.
Yep.
Who's currently
Yep.
playing at Iona, just so people know. But anyway, and I remember you detailing it in our story. But I think he started with a 6-shot lead, and you kind of
Yeah.
came all the way back, and I believe you forced extra holes to cap off the fourth straight. But what was that like, and did the pressure build in that round? Because now, by then you were very much in the spotlight of
Yeah.
the golf community, not only in Rhode Island but nationally ish. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was already, obviously already committed to Georgia Tech and everything. Yeah. I mean, that round was, man, it went many different directions. I started out hot. I think I birdied 3 or 4 of the first 6 or 7 holes. But then in the middle of the round, Colin played really, really well. He made a lot of big putts. Um, and, standing on the 18th tee box, he had a 3-shot lead. And so I was pretty defeated. But for some reason, I remember always saying that there was a chance. And I was first to go on 18. I hit a really good tee ball and put the pressure on Colin, and he didn't hit a very good one. And obviously, I ended up making birdie, and he made 6. So we went to extra holes, and um, but Colin played really well the whole day. It was a really good battle, and I'm just happy that he was able to win the following year, I believe, as well as
correct.
his team too. So, he deserved it, and just happy for him.
Now like you said, you committed to Georgia Tech early, and I've told people you were really the first one, other than Billy Andre when he committed to Wake Forest, and Faxon went to Furman. But other than them,
Yeah.
you were really the first Rhode Islander to commit to a big time college for golf. Since then, there's been Davis Chatfield at Notre Dame, Patrick Welsh at Oklahoma, a handful of others. But you were really
Yeah.
kind of one of the first ones to do that. And obviously, as we detailed in the story, it didn't go exactly as you were probably hoping, but you managed to pick yourself back up. Just talk, because a lot of people in golf, especially because it's all confidence, and and I personally stink, so this applies double for me. But talk about how you kind of lost it for a bit, right? You struggled, but then you
Yeah.
managed to eventually you pick yourself back up and to a point where
Yeah.
you could turn pro. Just talk about that process. What was what that took, and for people that are
Yeah.
going through that, whether it's a golf or in life, the lessons that you kind of learn from that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's, started with a lot of high expectations out of high school. And, I was a pretty big fish in a pretty small pond. And got down to Atlanta and just felt like, you know, all the eyes were on me, and which is nobody's fault, but really my own. But um, it just didn't work out the way I was hoping. School was hard. Off the course, I just didn't feel like I was prepared well, which I thought I was going in, but turned out I wasn't. And then I got hurt, and it was just sort of a storm of different things that caused my golf game to really struggle, and for a while. And it's hard to sort of pick yourself up every day, keep waking up early for workouts, keep practicing as hard as you can, and it's hard to do that when you're not traveling and playing events like you hoped you would be. Um, and so I've said for a while now, COVID, leaving campus, leaving school, and just getting away was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And that really just everything became better from there. Um, my grades improved, my golf improved off the course. I felt like I was understanding what I needed to do to be the best version of myself on the course. And I was able to travel most of senior year. Played some really cool courses, some really cool events, and just had some really good experiences. And that's just ultimately what led me to, you know, not playing another year somewhere else, and just saying, hey, let's just go for it right now. And you know, here we are. So um, yeah, just no looking back, and onward we go.
So you turned pro, obviously, as we talked about at the end, or we reported at the end of last year ish.
Yep.
And you played one
Yep.
tournament. You played your first tournament. Golf News Rye, of course, had it covered. Finished top 10. Snagged the top 10 finish, which was big for your first go around as a pro. Going into
Yeah.
that tournament, what was that whole experience like? I know I talked to you a little bit afterward. You were nice enough to give me a quote or two to use in the story, but what was that whole experience like? Your first pro golf tournament, like for all the marbles.
Yep.
What was that whole experience like?
Oh, I mean, it was awesome. I had one of my good friends caddying for me. So I had someone there to talk to and just kind of laugh, and um, but competing against guys who, this is their job now, right? I mean, this is what they do, and it's what I do, So I got to see some familiar faces that I've played against in the past, but also just kind of see what the level of play is and what the level of competition is, at the next level. And found myself in a interesting spot with a couple holes to play the second round. There's a cut after 2 days, and we knew where the cut was because of live scoring. And that's the most pressure I felt all week, was the last 3 or 4 holes of the second round, because I couldn't make a mistake. And so that really, after I finished the second round, posted a decent number, that gave me a ton of confidence into the final round, knowing, hey, I just beat out 2/3 of the field. Um, and let's just go out there and have fun the last day. So, it was another learning experience that hopefully I can bring into this first tournament and for the rest of the season, and just kind of build on that and go from there.
When you snagged the top 10 finish, but did you take anything? What did you take out of that tournament? Were you like, okay, I can play with these guys, or were you disappointed to finish 10th? I mean, did you feel like
No, no, I
you could have
mean,
won? I mean, what do you take out of that?
yeah, no, I was excited. I took home a lot of confidence from it. Um, beat some really, really good players, who have done some good things. And yeah, it was just a building block. I kind of realized that, okay, we can do this, and let's just take the things that we didn't do well, and work on those this off season. But took a ton of positives, and yeah, it was great.
So, what's what's a day in the life of Will Dixon, the pro golfer, like? I mean, what's your practice routine like? what are you doing on a daily basis to stay sharp? What is that like? Everyone wants to know what it's like to be a pro golfer.
Yeah.
You're a pro golfer now. So
Yep.
what is your practice schedule like? I'm sure it's not like my practice routine, which is hit balls, chip and putt for an hour, then go to the bar. I'm sure you have a real practice routine. I'm imagining.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I mentioned earlier, I've been working with this guy down here. His name's Lucas Hilt,
Yeah.
and he's a chiropractor, but he's also a performance coach. And him and I have really connected, and he's helped me really dial in my practice schedule and sort of, almost how I go about my entire day, in terms of what I do in the gym and how I practice and how I spend my time at the facility. Um, so I'll wake up and I'll go to our facility, the Noonan Golf facility. It's the Georgia Tech's practice facility. I'll go there and I'll kind of warm up, and do some skill work. I'll work on some technique stuff, that I think I might need to work on, or if I wasn't pleased with something the day before, then I'll go back and work on that in the morning. And then about 9, 10 o'clock, I'll go to the gym and do my main lift and workout for the day. So get that in, then make lunch around 12, and then about 1:30, 2 o'clock, I'll head back out to the facility. And this time, it's more of competitive games, right? So we have a par 3 course. I can use TrackMan if I need to, but it's all about how can I make this as much real life tournament situation as possible on the course, or on the facility, like it is on the course. So so we've come up with some pretty cool games in practice where it challenges myself, it puts some pressure on myself, and succeeding at those games, performing well in practice under some pressure, um, prepares you really well for tournaments. So that's really been, um, what I've been focusing on this off season, just kind of learning how to really practice the right way, and just dial in, my daily routine. So it's gone really well. I'm really pleased with the progress, and we'll see how it works this year.
So a couple more, and then we'll get you out of here. What would you say, or is there one thing that's maybe surprised you about being a pro? I mean, is there one thing that's kind of surprised you about the whole process and the whole, whether it's playing the tournaments or anything else? Is there some aspect of being a pro that has surprised you?
Well, yeah, I'm still really young in my professional career. Obviously, we're
Yeah.
just getting started, so I think I have a ton left ahead of me to experience. Obviously, but I mean, I've really enjoyed working with a couple of different companies. Reveille Wealth Management. Obviously, I just signed a little contract with them last week. And just meeting a ton of new people, and we got some more stuff coming up hopefully soon, as far as that goes. So, that's exciting stuff, and I've had to learn all that the last 4 or 5 months. So it's a cool process, and it's nothing out of the ordinary. As far there's nothing secret about it, but just the connections that you make in school and at the country clubs and wherever you travel, plays a big deal in how successful you can be on the golf course. So there's tons of opportunities out there to get sponsorships and meet really really good and cool people, and so that stuff has been awesome. So yeah.
And lastly, what is we publish your schedule? We might republish it on Monday so everyone can follow it
Yep.
easily. What is and you talked to me a little bit about this. You're playing a handful of Corn Ferry Tour qualifiers and a bunch of other things, obviously that you have coming up. But as far as being a pro goes and kind of getting to the dream, which obviously for everybody is the PGA Tour. But
Sure.
what does that road ahead for you look like? What are the kind of the goals? What are the kind of the the landmarks that you have to set for
Yeah.
yourself or for that? Or what's kind of the big picture road ahead for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, getting to the PGA Tour is, that's the overarching goal, right? But we gotta get to the Corn Ferry Tour first, and you gotta go through Q School. So it really all boils down to Q School at the end of the fall. That gets you into the Corn Ferry Tour, and then once you're on the Corn Ferry Tour, you got to play as well as you can against that top 25, cards at the end of the year to get on the PGA Tour. So we'll take it one step at a time. But those Corn Ferry Monday qualifiers, if you can play well in one of those and get through, and then play well in the event, you can qualify for the next week's event, and build some reputation, get your name out there more, and so those are big things. But like I said, at the end of the year, end of 2022, I'd like to become I like to say I'm a Corn Ferry Tour member. That'd be a huge accomplishment. And then from there, we'll just do whatever we can and keep on going. So, but those are the big overarching goals. Like I said, I think it's important to just take it day by day, almost just tournament by tournament, and just try and get a little bit better each day, and just see where that goes. I'm in this for the long run. I'm not just trying to do it for a year or 18 months. I'm trying to be, I want to give this my best shot. And so that takes 4 or 5 years, to really feel like you've given it your greatest, the greatest chance. So, I'm not in any rush. But we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us, taking some time out of your busy schedule. Good luck next week. Good luck this season. I'm sure I'll be talking to you often, and hopefully we'll have you back on down the road, and you can give us an update on where you are and what you're doing and different things like that. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Thanks for the time, Joe, and I really appreciate the support.
Awesome. That's Will Dixon. He's the only Rhode Islander still to win 4 straight high school championships. He's now a pro golfer, and get back to me in 3 years on the 4 straight high school championships, because there's a good young prospect that could be coming for your record. So get back to me in 3 years, and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Will,
Awesome.
Will, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Good luck next week, and we'll talk to you for sure down the road.
Yes, sir. You got it.
Will Dixon, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Rich Capaldi is going to join us. He is not a professional golfer. And we'll get into the rest of the Golf Dudes podcast here on Facebook Live and the Coalition Radio Network. We'll be right back. Billy Andre joins the show. Billy, thanks so much for doing this, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited to be joined by an 11-time Emmy Award winner, and that is Armin Katayan. Massachusetts Women's Amateur Champion Allison Paik.
The days of the country club just being golf and maybe one amenity are gone. Unfortunately, Metacomet doesn't have those.
He has a very rare condition called kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And at the time of diagnosis, there was only 60 documented cases in the world.
When we legitimately played the last 4 holes at Newport National, you could not see 50 yards.
Podcast, and joining us now is not a professional golfer. His name is Rich. Rich, how you doing today, buddy boy? Thanks for joining the show.
Not too bad. Slaving through this winter. It's brutal. 20s, no golf. Only golf I'm getting is on TV, so I'm gonna have to deal with that for another month or two. So, other than that, what else is going on?
We've had a busy week. We had stories on everything from DJ Khaled to Jim Nance to the new president of Riga. So it's been a busy week. We should tell you once again that the Golf Dudes podcast is presented by Lynx Drinks. Lynx Drinks is best known for their transfusion in a can. Transfusion is vodka, ginger ale, and grape juice, all mixed together into one refreshing beverage. Look for Lynx Drinks in liquor stores and country clubs near you. Also look for them next week down at the PGA Merchandise Show, which they will be having a booth at. So good luck to them down there. Interesting week on the PGA Tour. Rich, we have the American Express Open, or excuse me, American Express Championship, I should say. It's not called the American Express Open. And so far, the scoring is high. 10 under. Patrick Cantlay's got the lead. We should note that Massachusetts' own Peter Uihlein is 1 under and tied for 96th on the day. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, Cantlay was on 59 watch too.
Was he? I didn't watch.
Yeah, he was 10 under. I think he was 10 under through 14. I think.
We should tell you that Peter Uihlein is actually tied with Will Zalatoris. I think this is Will Zalatoris' first tournament of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So interesting.
I think so. Yeah.
Looks like he's struggling. I didn't see. They both teed off super early, so it was hard to see any of their round. But unless you watched it on the ESPN Plus app, I guess the ESPN Plus app is or PGA Tour Live on ESPN Plus is in full swing. Have you checked it out? What's any differences?
I didn't really watch any of it today. I watched a lot of the Sony last week. It was pretty good. Everything was pretty much flawless. The commentary was decent. The groups were good. The picture was all right from what I saw when it was streaming. It looks good to go. Looks to be in mid-season form.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see. And I know ESPN Plus is coming.
I'm just glad I don't have to pay $70 for it. You did it last year. I did it the year before for the PGA Tour live. Now it's what is it, $8 a month or $7 a month on ESPN? So it's nice.
Right. Yeah, because it comes with the whole thing. You get the golf plus everything else. So
exactly. Yeah, the UFC, MLB, all the other hockey that's going on. So it's nice.
Right, I really only got ESPN Plus so I can watch the Rangers games, so it's kind of convenient now. I can watch golf if I wanted to. I don't know, you weren't able to join us, but I don't know if you saw any of my content from our CBS annual CBS chat with Jim Nance. I was hanging out with Jim Nance earlier this week. It's just me and Big Jim, just me and Big Jim hanging out. Nothing crazy about that. It was interesting to hear CBS kind of tiptoe around my question about the Saudi versus PGA Tour League, and then look back at the answer Bob Harry gave us, where he gave us a great answer. So it was interesting to hear the two differences. The CBS guys kind of tiptoed around it, didn't really want any part of it, and Bob Harry gave us an amazing answer. So it was interesting how that kind of the difference between those two interactions.
Yeah, there's a big difference between network TV and a columnist or a writer for ESPN. I didn't think that they were gonna. I mean, it was good that you asked it. I thought it was great because we were silent last year when we did it because we were kind of like starstruck and it was our first time and everything like that. But no, it was good that you asked it. I didn't expect them to say anything. Or give any details or anything like that. It's still a touchy subject. Like there's a lot of crap that goes into this whole Saudi thing. Greg Norman's getting a ton of crap for it. How it's dirty money, the customs over there, how they treat women and civil rights and all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see once it does get started and up and running to see what the numbers are going to be. If it's on, I may watch it depending on who they grab. Or if it's I get home at 1 or 2 in the morning and there's nothing on, I'll watch a little bit of it. But it'll be interesting to see how many numbers they grab.
And this week we have that DP World Tour, right? That's been on late night golf. Rory's over there. A bunch of.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Like I said, I've been out of it. I've been out of it for the past week because it's my first week back to work. So, that's good. That's good to know. I could maybe watch some of that tonight.
Yeah, that's been on late night TV.
Nice.
I think Rory's over there. I'm not 100% sure who all the guys are that are there, but and then the Saudi Invitational is going to be interesting. That's in a few weeks, so that's going to be the real first, shot at the PGA Tour for whatever these people are trying to do. So it was interesting. Like you said, network TV isn't necessarily going to say anything. But I wanted to ask the question. I feel like it's a necessary question. I feel like it is a major storyline this year.
Somebody's got to put it out there,
Yeah, I feel like it is a major storyline. And Sean McManus, the chairman of CBS, answered gave me the answer. He didn't really answer the question, but that's okay.
He gave you like a Bill Belichick answer type of.
Yeah, we're just focused on the PGA Tour. Okay.
We're just focused on the PGA.
So whatever, we got content out of it. That was the point. And then Jim Nance gave a great answer on Tim Rosafort, so that was really cool. And then I had a third question ready just in case one of my first two questions was already asked, and I ended up still with my first two questions, which is always good. Last year we didn't ask anything, but they also broke news last year with Tiger Woods. Remember they broke that Tiger Woods was having that surgery or whatever?
That's right. I forgot about that.
Remember that? We also didn't know how it all worked. Now I know how it works. You're automatically muted, and when they call on you, a thing pops up on the screen that says unmute. And so, remember last year we didn't even know how it actually worked.
Like there's no button, there's no
so I was
can't hear anything.
Like, what the so I was kind of hesitant to do anything, but this year I figured what the heck. So I pressed raise your hand. Then it took them a couple of questions to get to me, because they had to go to Jeff Shackelford first for some reason. I don't know why.
Old man golf.
I
mean, you got to respect it. He's got a name, you know.
Oh no, I'm only half joking. Obviously, they're going to take him over me. But I got my question. I said Joe Calabro, Golf News RI in Providence, Rhode Island. So whatever. And then the other interesting thing that came out of it, which I just posted today, because I didn't want to bombard people yesterday with CBS nonsense. And by the way, there's nothing really new about their broadcast this year. They said they're going to use more, which is why I didn't write anything about it, because it's really kind of pointless. They just use more drone footage, and they're going to have more technology. I guess the boards that Amanda Balionis uses are going to be like not really there. That's what it sounded like. So
what is it going to be like? Sort of like a green screen type of thing, or it's going to be like all digital or something like that?
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. So,
my whole thing for any broadcast of a sport, the only thing that's going to change really is camera angles and 4K. Obviously I'm gonna say the Masters is gonna be broadcast in 4K because it's on ESPN. The first two Thursday and Fridays on ESPN, so that'll be in 4K. I'm not sure if CBS will use ESPN's 4K cameras for the weekend coverage. I'm hoping they will, because they have that partnership with them. But really, all these broadcasts, they're all the same. They're going to be enhanced cameras and stuff like that. And really, the only thing is whether or not coverage is going to be broadcast in 4K. That's the only difference. It's all the same usually every year.
Yeah, there's not too many changes. So, last year CBS announced a relatively big change where they're going to have the
scoreboard. Yeah,
that was a big deal, I thought.
Yeah, no, I like that. That was fantastic. I was up to date on everything. I didn't have to go to my phone or anything. I was always up to date with what was going on. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, but this year they really didn't announce anything significant. I did put stuff at the bottom of the Jim Nance article from today just to put it in. I literally just copy and pasted their press release, but there was nothing really significant about it. But he is going to be broadcasting the final two rounds of the Farmers Insurance Tournament from the AFC Championship, which is interesting. And
that's sick. I didn't know that. That's sweet.
And it's worth noting. That next week's Farmers Insurance at Torrey Pines ends on Saturday night. It's a Wednesday to Saturday.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it's a Saturday finish.
They're trying to get out of the way of football. So we'll remind people next week, but it is worth noting that.
That's crazy.
So next week's show, we're actually going to be on the cut line for the
Farmers Insurance. We're on moving day.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting, but worth noting. And Jim Nance is going to be at the AFC Championship game broadcasting the golf tournament from a production truck in the stadium. So wherever he is, it'll probably be in Tennessee or Kansas City or wherever.
I'm hoping it's going to be in Cincinnati.
Yeah, maybe. So that's pretty much it on that. Other than that, the week's been interesting. Obviously. As I put out on Instagram, we're trying to round up some of the local businesses that are going down to the PGA Merchandise Show next week and try to draw attention, help them get some attention. And then, the Riga named the Connecticut golfer president of their organization, so I thought that was interesting. But I guess the guy was previously on as a representative of Metacomet, so
nice.
It's not as weird as it looks, but that news came out. That news came out the other day, and yeah, that's that. So that's pretty much it. on that front, the news standpoint front, we got a great. My mom says, good interview with Will. Yes, went pretty good. He's a good kid, and like I said, I covered him when he was in high school, so I'm definitely old. And now he's a professional golfer. So there you go.
Oh man.
I did want to ask you because we can get off golf for a second. I mean, let's be honest, there's not a ton going on.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you because the Rangers hockey finally were on national TV last night for the first time, for like the second time all season.
Oh yeah, they were on the magical TNT channel that had hockey on for the third time this year.
I don't,
God, that's so brutal.
And tonight the Bruins aren't even on TV. They're on
they're on freaking ESPN Plus. I got it streaming from my phone right now. It's ridiculous.
So, I have been a tad disappointed in the handling of hockey. ESPN's been brutal. Mark Messier, love you, mean it, but he's terrible at halftime. He's terrible in the emissions.
Yeah.
Chris Chelios literally says nothing. He's completely useless. And TNT's been okay. I mean, Gretzky's not going to say anything either.
You got Biz. Biz is great. He's so good for the game.
But what's been your over? I mean, the Bruins have played a number of national TV games. But what's your?
Yeah, they've been on TNT a couple times. This is, I think, their second time playing on ESPN Plus. I remember they played a Friday night game that was just on ESPN Plus. They've been on cable a couple times. I can't say that I hate it because I have everything. Like I have ESPN Plus. You know what I mean? So it's like I think the lack of action on cable is atrocious. I mean, hate the NBC all you want. I wasn't a big fan of NBC. I love Boucher, but hate on NBC all you want. There was a game probably I think 2 or 3 nights out of the week. If there wasn't a game on NBC, there was a game or two on NHL Network. I know Sunday night and I think like Thursday night was NHL Network's night. Now it's like you get 1 or 2 games a month on TNT, 1 game a month on ESPN, and then the rest you got to catch on ESPN Plus. The consensus is that people don't like it. Like I said, I really can't complain because I have it. I pay for it. I've had it for years. I've had ESPN Plus for years, so I don't really care. But I could understand where people would be frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna complain about ESPN Plus. I mean, it's fine.
I mean, we all pay $200 for cable. Like, we should be able to get whatever we want on cable.
Right.
Like,
I think there is a lot.
Ridiculous.
I think there is a lot of frustration that more games are on TV because there is still something to having it on TV.
Yeah, of course.
No matter how big streaming is getting, and it is getting big, you know, it is getting big, but there still is something to having it on TV. So I've been kind of disappointed with the coverage. And like I said, I think the ESPN halftime shows are terrible. And TNT is pretty good, actually.
My one decent thing about a lot of the games being streamed is I usually, if there's a decent amount, oh, that was nasty. If there's a decent amount of sporting, oh, what a hit. A decent amount of sporting events on, I'll do the 2 TV combo. And the TV that I have in my bedroom is a smart TV, so it has ESPN loaded as an app on it. So I can watch whatever's on ESPN, stream it, and then have whatever's on cable on my regular TV. So that's kind of nice. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people, that's just a hint for a lot of people. That's how I've been doing it the past couple of weeks with football. There's been hockey on, so I just watch football on that, and then I stream it. That's one good thing about having a streaming app with the smart TV. So, I mean, I really can't complain. I really can't complain a lot about it.
Exactly. Okay. What do you think about football this weekend?
Whoo. Well, do you even want to talk about last weekend or no?
Oh, the Buffalo Bills game? I thought the Patriots were going to be in the Super Bowl. What happened?
No dude, we text pretty much throughout the whole first half.
Is it going to be Patriots in Tampa in the Super Bowl? I thought everyone was saying that.
Oh my God!
Bill Belichick was back. Bill was back.
Good Lord. Yeah, I mean the Bills played themselves. I mean they didn't play it. They didn't play an NFL team. It was over in the first two series when what's his face intercepted that pass. Now, granted, that was a great pass for Mac Jones.
Yeah.
That was an even better interception.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, it's over. We are done. They went up 14-0. I was like, nope. I think I ended up shutting it off at halftime or a little bit before halftime. I was like, I just don't care.
So there's that. So anyway, on to real football.
All right, let me.
What do you think about real football?
So I got. I'm going AFC dogs this weekend.
Cincinnati,
AFC
Buffalo.
underdogs this weekend. Cincinnati and oh my God, what's the other game?
Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going Cincy and Buffalo. I don't know. I just have a feeling that obviously Kansas City's come into the playoffs super, super hot. They destroyed last week. And I don't think that I think that Derrick Henry is going to be a little rusty from not playing for the past 10 weeks or whatever it is. But you always got to keep him in the back of your mind. But yeah, so gonna go dogs. I sneaky like the Niners. Call me crazy. A 6 seed versus a 1 seed. I don't know if they're gonna win, but I think they're gonna cover the number. And actually, you know what? I think I'm going dogs pretty much in 3 of the games. Like I'm gonna have the Rams beating the Bucks. I think the Bucks are suspect on their secondary. I think Stafford is going to throw for some yards. So yeah, I'm going 3 dogs, and I want the Niners to win, but I think the Packers are going to run. So yeah, I'm taking 3 dogs and 1 favorite this week. What about you?
Well, I think Kansas City's going to win. Buffalo killed them earlier this year at home. Kansas City's at home. It's going to be freezing out. I'm imagining. Not that that matters to Buffalo, but
no.
gotta like Mahomes. I'm really hoping. It'd be nice to see Cincinnati beat Tennessee. And who cares about Tennessee? I mean, Mike Vrabel, sure, but Tennessee does nothing for me. But you don't even know what Derrick Henry's going to look like.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to be rusty.
If he's even playing, I don't know for sure if they said he's playing.
Yeah, I think he's active.
So you don't know what he's.
Or they're gonna activate him on Friday, I think.
And Joe Burrow just seems like he kind of has that swagger.
Dude, that team is so good.
That word the kids use these days. So he seems
like
boom.
Oh, the Bruins, baby.
The Bruins scored.
Bruins scored.
Yes, are they getting blown out 7-1 again?
No, 2-1 now. Yeah. I mean that Cincy team is going to be a problem for the next 10 years if they can keep them together.
Yep. So they look good, but again, they could always turn into the Cincinnati Bungles at any time. So you never know. There's still a chance. And Buffalo could always turn back into Buffalo at any time. I guess. But,
true, but I mean, dude,
they look good though.
Freaking what's his face? Josh Allen. Friggin', he threw a perfect game. Perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
He scored 7 touchdowns and 1 kneel down. What are we doing? 300 something through the air, 5 touchdowns, and I think the running game had. Oh, the running game had the other ones. Anyways, yeah. So how about San Fran, Green Bay?
So I am rooting for San Fran. I am rooting for Jimmy G. Because I covered Jimmy G. I covered Jimmy G when he was with the Patriots. Talked to him a handful of times at training camps and throughout the seasons, whatever. So he's a good kid. So I root for him purely because of that. But
I just think they're going to cover the number. I don't think they're going to win.
But I guess he's banged up. He's playing with a broken finger or something, in a sprained shoulder or something like that. So
yeah,
can't feel good about that, obviously. And Green Bay I think Green Bay probably gets to the Super Bowl. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be named MVP. MVPs don't win Super Bowls. They haven't since 2000, and so he's going to lose to whoever he is playing. That's my opinion. History says so.
And I'm not going to. I'm not even going to ask you about the Bucks because you're a Brady fanboy. So
I think Brady's gonna win, because I think Matt Stafford is gonna crap himself. He didn't last week because the Arizona Cardinals literally put no pressure on him whatsoever. I put no.
dude, just talk about a BS weekend. No, it was just a bad weekend. It was just an awful weekend for football. Oh,
Yeah, I mean there's one or two good games, but I mean the refereeing was terrible too. That was part of
the
problem.
officiating throughout every game was terrible.
And then I think, like I say, so yeah, Kansas City, Tampa. Though I think the Rams, the Rams have a tough week because they have to play a stupid Monday night game in the playoffs. They have a short week. They have to fly all the way across the country. They're playing the early game on Sunday. Early is 3:00, so relatively early, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so they, but Tampa's all banged up. They have injury problems. I don't know if Fournette is playing, so
I haven't heard anything. The lineman that got hurt last week is supposed to play, even though he's severely wrenched up. So I don't know what he's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So you got the Pack and the Buck, and then
I'm rooting for San. See, there's two different things. I'm rooting for San Fran because I'm rooting.
No,
for
I know,
Jimmy G.
I know. Me too. I am too. I don't like the Packers.
But I also am not an idiot.
I mean, you got friggin' Adams and Rodgers and Adams. I mean, nobody can cover him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say though,
and then,
Aaron Rodgers has never beaten the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs. He's 0-3. So, just saying. Including losses at Lambeau.
Yeah. So you got the Pack. Well, figuratively speaking, you got the Pack and the Bucks. And then you've got
Cincinnati.
Would you say you got Cincinnati, and then you have Kansas City, right?
Yeah, so I'm taking all the.
I mean, you know what's crazy is that I'm a Patriots fan. I hate the Bills. But I still would love to see them beat the Chiefs because I don't dislike Mahomes. I just dislike all the publicity he gets or that team gets. I hate Travis Kelce. I think he's a wannabe Gronk and he's a tool.
Probably true.
I don't like Travis Kelce. I just think he tries way too hard to be Gronk. But I also hate the Bills, so it's kind of like I think the Bills beat them. I think they're way too hot. I think Josh Allen's way too hot. Diggs is hot. That whole team is hot, and yeah, that's what I have to say.
How badly does Aaron Rodgers need a Super Bowl this year?
Jesus Christ! Oh boy. Like the Rangers need a Stanley Cup almost.
Well, I think he needs a Super Bowl worse.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, so we got the Cincy, Tennessee at 4:30 on Saturday, San Fran, Green Bay 8:15 Saturday, and then like you said, the Rams and Bucks at 3, and then Buffalo and KC at 6:30. I actually kind of like the fact that the late game on Sunday is at 6:30 instead of 8:30 because that last week was brutal.
Oh yeah.
I mean, game didn't get over until almost midnight. Like I got to go to work the next day. It's like what the hell?
The game will still take forever.
Oh, it will. No, absolutely. I mean, it's a playoff game. They want ratings, so.
Yeah, so hopefully the American Express Championship ends before the late game. I'll tell Loris, excuse me, can you put the golf on, please?
Jeez,
Loris,
right?
Loris, I have the whole bar set of football. Excuse me, can you put the golf on, please?
Yeah, Buffalo and Kansas City, they'll laugh at you.
Yeah, no, I would never obviously do that, but it'd be fun.
Oh, man.
All right, so another week in the books, and we should get out of here so Rich can go back to watching his Bruins, and hope everyone has a great weekend. We will talk to you next week. Remember, the Farmers Insurance Tournament starts on Wednesday and ends on Saturday, so we will have a cut line broadcast for you next week. Talk about who's on the bubble and everything. So that should actually be kind of fun. Something different. Because usually we get like the show after the first round is like, what are you really going to talk about? But next week there should be some content. I'm sure there's a big field at Torrey Pines. So
that was crazy last week. How late the coverage started. I think the coverage started like 7:30 last week. It was nuts.
For golf. Yeah. Well, they were in Hawaii, so it's a
Yeah.
6 hour or whatever it is time difference. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. If you missed the Will Dixon interview, obviously it replays on Facebook all the time. It'll also be up on our website tomorrow morning as a separate thing, separate from the regular podcast, rest of the podcast. So you can check that out there. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will talk to you next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And hope everyone has a great weekend. Enjoy the football, enjoy the golf, and stay tuned to Golf News RI as we'll keep you covered content-wise all weekend long. That's all we got. Peace.